Wait.
It's a sandbox. It's a soapbox. It's Bandbox.
There we go. It's
That worked. That was pretty good. All right.
Yeah,
Welcome, everybody, to a wrestling podcast. I am your favorite indie dog, the Lone Star Casanova, Mr. Must See TV, Chris, goddamn Magnus, and my co-host.
Other way. Hey, I am Xanatos1138 on all socials. That's pretty simple. I don't do much.
We are going to get him to get an intro one of these days. That's going to be like the grand by episode 100. Dave's going to have an intro, and it's going to be great. Almost as good as mine.
See, when I'm mentally prepared, I can do something, but I'm just like, you know what? I am being perceived. I'm just gonna move on.
We're going to get you over that stage fright too, big dog. All right. Now, we have a lot to talk about this week, but first I want to get us some breaking news because literally an hour before us recording, we had, I want to say, a cathartic release from the WWE. Road Dogg Jesse James, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, along with the actual good wrestler, Billy Gunn, was let go from the WWE as a writer and a booker of the show.
See, I know him best from Attitude Era. I literally quoted his promo last week of the New Age Outlaws. So like that part I was fond of, but just him as a booker, him as just a backstage. I watch this guy all the time that makes fun of different people from backstage. He has a really good impression of them. But yeah, no, this is good. This is good.
Aren't you glad that like I don't even know how fast it's going to take effect. I don't know what storylines they're still going to push through that he had already wrote or booked. But man, I can't wait to see Mello drop the U.S. title and get into that main event scene. Ooh. That's going to be a doozy.
There is, I mean, I want to be optimistic. I do. But there's more than just Road Dogg.
True. But like I know I made a video about it when it happened, but like little victories. That's one thing that in like the wrestling community that I wish that we could like, just be happy. But I was like, oh man, this cool thing happened. Let's just enjoy it for a little bit. Because I know it's still Paul Levesque's company.
Yeah, the quote that CM Punk said in his pipe bomb was like, oh, once Vince McMahon's gone, it's still going to be his daughter and doofus son-in-law, and here we are.
And here we are, yeah. I will say, speaking of CM Punk's pipe bomb, I know everyone was so confused about that, not this past Raw, but the one before it, where it was like in the middle of like a commercial break, and it was like CM Punk cutting the pipe bomb back in, whatever it was. I don't know. I wasn't watching wrestling, nor was it like conscious. I was like 9 or something. And then it like flash cut to him like now with the title, like, waving to the camera. And I guess it ended up being just promo for the game.
Yeah.
Because it's the CM Punk showcase mode. Which I guess, because I watched a little bit of it earlier, because I guess that comes out tomorrow, early access, or today. I'll know when my neighbor starts yelling. That's how we'll know when 2K26 goes live. Because we'll hear a grown man screech to the top of his lungs like a little girl. His words, not mine. I wasn't being rude. That's what he told me verbatim.
All right.
He said, when you hear me scream like a little girl, you know the game's live. And I was like, man, I got the podcast tonight. It's like, I'm sorry. It's the wrestling's in my soul. It's like, all right, Doug. He came up to my stairs a couple of days ago because he bought the Oba Femi necklace. And stood in my door, was like, are you not going to announce your ruler? And he had his like 2-year-old son in his hand, and it was like, and his prince. I was like, hello, nice necklace.
Did he do the walk? Did he walk up to the
Yeah,
door?
he did do like up the stairs, a little Oba strut up the stairs. It's pretty funny. I hope to get him on the podcast one day. Has a well of wrestling knowledge, especially when we like watch matches and stuff like that. However, um, a lot of things happen, as our background can see. We didn't do an episode last week because that's on me, because I wanted to make sure that I encompassed the New Japan and the Chamber pay-per-views or PLEs. That's just a dumb name, by the way. I just want to put that out there now. PLEs, dumb. Pay-per-view. It's whatever. So I know you didn't watch the New Japan one, but we talked a little bit about the Chamber and how we thought it was going to go. And, so how did your predictions come out, if you had any, and what surprises did you see other than the obvious one that's the elephant in the room?
I really like that Randy Orton won. Not so keen on Logan Paul eliminating 3 of the wrestlers. They're giving Logan Paul way too much.
Yeah, I had watched the Chamber with my mom and my best friend Elizabeth, and it was the first time her watching a WWE pay-per-view, and I was very excited because I always loved the Elimination Chamber. Punk and Balor I knew was going to be great, and it was. That was a great match, just straight graps, no interference, no Dom, no Funko Pop, nothing. I know I was crazy and being like, well, David Finlay and Evil could show up and it could be all the members of the Bullet Club. Hey, I am not too big of a person to admit that I'm wrong. I'm not. But it was a good match either way. But the problem that I see, even from people that aren't wrestling fans, which is crazy, they don't understand why Logan Paul is there, let alone in the positions that he is in.
Yeah.
It's shameful. It's shameful because if Jake got hurt, hey man, you know who he could have put in the Chamber? I don't know. Mello, Austin Theory, Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, any of the MFTs, Apollo Cruz, who's apparently just sitting and collecting money and catering, Sami Zayn, someone else who has like a storyline who is currently ongoing with Drew McIntyre. I have no idea. Wouldn't it be super cool if, I don't know, a TNA guy was in the Elimination Chamber? Because that partnership's still going on, because Ariana Grace is the TNA Knockouts Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just Knockouts Champion? I don't know. I think that's what they call the women's wrestlers in TNA, the Knockouts, right?
Because back when they were calling them Divas, they wanted to have a name for them too, so they said Knockouts.
Yeah, I like AEW and New Japan, where they're just like, nah, they're just wrestlers.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, actually, because now that I'm thinking about it, New Japan, it's mostly dudes, isn't it? Isn't it all dudes? And then like the women's division's kind of small over there.
All I remember is Maki Ito.
She's in Stardom, I think.
Okay.
So, interesting. I'm gonna have to do some more research about that.
Outside of AEW and WWE, Maki Ito, I think, is the only one that stands out that I know of.
I know a lot of people were suspecting that she was going to WWE too, but I mean, with how, man, what a great segue. With how the last guy we talked about going to WWE, he just showed up on Dynamite this past Wednesday.
Yep.
The one, the only, the Rebel David Finlay. We were watching this together, and I popped crazy because, goodness gracious, the feuds he's had with Jay White, Will Ospreay, Callan Newman, Evil. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the War Dogs versus the House of Torture feud, but they opened belt ass. Like, point blank period. Their loser leaves Bullet Club match. It was like, I think it was a dog collar match too. They were just beating the shit out of each other. It's like they wanted to really just put it all in that ring. So I'm super excited. One, he didn't have to change his name, and he wasn't gonna be like, I don't know, I don't even know, Sammy Switzerland or whatever. But I'm glad that he's back with Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors, because the more I'm seeing of Clark Connors, I already think Gabe Kidd's a nutcase. And
Yeah.
I'll let you talk more about Gabe Kidd. But Clark Connors, man.
I like Gabe Kidd as a wrestler from what I've seen. I like them. I like all three of them. I think they're going to be
Yeah.
great. I think they're going to be awesome in AEW. But like what I was telling you yesterday while we were watching the show, I saw him do his weird ass crawl to the ring, and I'm like, I just picture someone running up and just punting him in the head, and then here comes Darby flying from off camera and just barrels right into him. It's like, I got my wish.
I didn't think that match was going to be as fun as it was. Like, granted, like I knew the people who were in the match like are all phenomenal wrestlers. Like Orange and Darby, like at this point are pillars of AEW. Like I feel like we can all agree to that.
Yeah,
But
they called them AEW originals, and they most certainly are.
and I'm glad that Tony Khan knows his talent well enough to knows if a new guy comes through, whether it be like an ex-WWE guy, it's a straight indie talent, or a New Japan talent that not a lot of people are familiar of, like in America, they know what stars to put them over with. You know what I mean? Like when Megan Bain debuted, like who put her over? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that AEW has an understanding of like not like the hierarchy, but like the kind of like the power structure of like the AEW roster.
Speaking of which, the inspiration.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you were telling me about them and they did not disappoint. I know they got squashed, which I've already seen people on Twitter that are like, the inspiration signed to TNA and won the knockout titles in their first match and they got squashed in AEW. Okay. Granted, I'm not a huge inspiration fan. Quick, gun to your head. Name me your favorite inspiration match that has no comedy aspects in it. Go.
There isn't any.
Gotcha. There isn't any, and that's okay because it's not like these two. Granted, I don't subscribe to the theory of like, oh, when women get to 40, they should stop wrestling. You're crazy because CM Punk is 55 years old and is the world heavyweight champion on Raw.
Yeah, and the thing with the inspiration is it's not so much this part, like, yeah, they lost, but their backstage segments and promos leading up to whatever comes next is going to be gold.
Right.
Like, I cannot wait for, I don't know what she calls herself, not Cassie,
Tally?
yeah, I cannot believe I'm blanking on her name because it was man, hold on. It's gonna bug me. I have to look.
We
this up
have the internet. This is the great thing about having an proactive podcast is we can do our research on the fly, so we're not saying anything wrong. I gotta get used to my camera being flipped. This is the pain of having a new fancy phone. But now I feel like we're like liberal Joe Rogan, but with wrestling. Hey Jamie, pull up the inspiration tag team name.
Jesse. So it is Jesse.
Jesse.
So one of my favorite things, there's even compilations of this. When she was in WWE, she'd walk up to someone like a backstage interview or whatever. You gotta be joking me. You gotta be joking me. It popped every time. It was so funny.
Yeah, I wish when they were in TNA, like they did more stuff with Chelsea Green because I was telling you yesterday, there was no reason that the Iconics couldn't have defended the knockouts belts against the Secret Service like multiple times.
Yeah,
because I think if I remember correct, didn't they lose them to Ask by Elegance or Elegance brand as they are now?
yeah.
So I don't understand it. I don't want to talk about sad wrestling anymore. Let's talk about AEW some more. Golly. Dynamite this Wednesday. Actually, hold on. Before we talk about Dynamite this Wednesday, I do want to talk about NXT for a tiny bit. Because there's this guy who just got signed there. His name's Keanu Carver. Every time I see a tweet for him or something of him like cutting a promo, he is the funniest man alive. And I know it's not intending to, but and I think it's just because it's a breath of fresh air, just like it was with Javon and Trick and Mello, that it's just like there's a black person unabated by like white writing. He is just on national television on the CW. He told the camera, "I'm not going back to the streets." And I didn't cringe. I didn't feel like it was forced or anything. I was like, oh, because he also had just got done maiming somebody. So I was like, oh wait, he's kind of serious. It doesn't feel like, unfortunately, how they kind of write Jacob in certain situations, like on SmackDown. It's just like, oh, this is a. I think if they don't, like, if this doesn't go well for him, he might be serious. He might have to go back to the streets. Yeah, but no, Keanu Carver, jeez Louise. Like, I hope that Shawn Michaels continues to book him the way that they are. Because, god damn, is him and Oba at WrestleMania for both belts gonna be money? What do they say? Cinema. That's what they call everything over there in the Fed.
Cinema.
Yeah, but Collision. Man, I know you watch Collision while I was watching The Chamber. So, right, before I forget, as much as I love Rhea Ripley, because we were talking about the Chamber, I don't think she should have won. I really thought that Raquel Rodriguez should have won the Chamber.
Raquel should have, and just letting these wrestlers do like extra social media posting, like she was doing it from the pod while the match was going on. And there's a video of her watching Tiffy get slammed against the pod and then like a little squeak because she slid down it. And it's just Raquel cracking up. It was like, this is perfect. This is quality.
I heard her laughing, but I guess I never saw the actual footage of her like live tweeting that, because I kept hearing something. Like I was like looking around, looking at my mom and Elizabeth. I was like, okay, they're not laughing. Who is that? And then the camera panned, and I see Raquel Rodriguez like bent over, like just like from the diaphragm, just like she thought that shit was real funny, like real life, no kayfabe. She was having the time of her life in that bitch, and she looked great. Like I was like, oh man, Rhea Ripley's the strongest woman in the Chamber, and I had forgotten that Raquel was in it because like so much was going on. And then she got out. I was like, oh, wait. No. Because as I was watching, I had to explain the WWE lore to both parties watching with me. Because they don't watch as at all, actually. They just hear me yap. So I was like, yeah, Rhea Ripley, she's the strongest woman, like, in this match. Like, not the strongest in WWE. That's somebody else. And then, like serendipity, her pod opened. I was like, oh, y'all gonna get hurt. And every woman in that match, they did that shit. I think the women's match this year was better than the men's.
There was a point in time in both of their careers in NXT where I feel like Rhea and Raquel were both neck and like they were even. And somewhere along the line, Rhea went up a little bit. But really, realistically, Raquel should have followed. They should have still stayed the same.
I think that injury, because I don't remember how long she was hurt, because when I started watching wrestling, I didn't know who that woman was. When she came back, I was like, who's that? Because I didn't know what NXT was. I wasn't as like in depth with the lore. So when she came back, I was like, huh? And then I told my wrestling like mentor, I was like, yeah, Raquel Rodriguez came back. And it was like I had told him, like, I guess in like my terms, like, oh my God, Kevin Owens is back. He was so excited. I was like, oh. He was like, you don't understand, Raquel Rodriguez. She was like the most dominant NXT champion that they had. Like, she like really made like her and Rhea's like rivalry like really like pushed the both of them to like the main roster. I was like, damn, it ain't looking like that on Mondays. But this is before we had the Kevin Nash conversation. Well, she had the Kevin Nash conversation. I wasn't even a conversation. He just, I guess, looking at from a, taking a step back that he's not a part of the cool club anymore. That's kind of all he did was just like armchair quarterback.
So I really like the Judgment Day. I really, even though they keep teasing it, I really hope that they stay as a group because I like factions in WWE. But what this made me think of is JD McDonough, formerly known as Jordan Devlin, in like the cruiserweight scene.
The Irish Ace.
He was really good. He still is, but they don't ever give him anything anymore.
I can understand, like, right now, in this very second, like, March 5th. Yeah, March 5th. 2026. Maybe it's because he's still recovering from that injury. Because, he just came back the second time and having surgery. But, like, no excuse from, like, the moment he debuted to right now that JD McDonough hasn't won any singles gold on the main roster. Like, at all. Not even a speed title? I know y'all love handing them bitches out to anybody.
Yeah.
So I just, hey, all right. But Finn, like I was saying earlier, Finn Balor, Punk, good match, wrong winner. I'm gonna say that right now, today, tomorrow, the next day. As much as I love CM Punk, and as much as we are going to talk about this past Raw, Balor should have won.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it being just a like one of those between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania feuds that didn't actually change anything. I love when stuff changes. When like the complexion changes, it probably like would have ended up being a triple threat. And Finn definitely does. Like again, someone else that definitely deserves more than he's getting lately. I'll say that because he is the first Universal Champion. He has had a lot of stuff going. Like he has had a lot of stuff going for him in his career, but I feel like he should be on the same level as a lot of these main event guys.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. There's no reason that Damian Priest is in the main event scene, but Finn Balor has not been. Like, granted, I don't know what they're doing with Damian right now. Hey, maybe that's signs of things to come. But it's like you didn't have him face John Cena on his. Well, yes, you did. You did. But in a trios match with Sheamus and Rey Mysterio and Dom and JD. But wasn't in the Rumble, wasn't in the Chamber, probably not going to be at WrestleMania if the way things are going. So it's like, hey, why don't you like your inaugural Universal Champion? You guys treat Seth like he's the second coming of Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels combined, which, hey, as a Seth Rollins stan, I'm not mad about, but the founding leader of the Bullet Club, the Demon, y'all playing in his face like this.
Maybe we get, I just spitballing, man, because they keep teasing the Judgment Day thing. Maybe we get him and Dom at WrestleMania.
Now, that's something that I would really enjoy because for some reason, for some odd reason, the WWE hates letting Dominic wrestle. I don't know what it is. Like, I know it's probably a part of the gimmick, but like, I know he's good. Like, that's the super crazy thing about it. I know he can do some crazy shit. Do you remember when I was watching Raw? I think it was like the first match on Netflix or one of the first matches on Netflix. Dominic Mysterio did a suicide dive into a DDT to Penta on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about that shit for weeks. Literal weeks. Because I was like, I've never seen him do that before. Like, and probably never seen him do it since.
I remember realizing it when he was still tagging with Ray, when he was still a face, and there was some sequence where he got to do a lot of stuff on his own, and he did like high flying stuff effortlessly. It was like, wow, this kid's like 19, he can wrestle, like he's really really good, and they should definitely give him more. It was the same feeling that I had for like when I first saw Seth Rollins single, like doing a singles type of thing while he was still in the
Ah,
Shield, and he's running back and forth doing tope suicidas back to back. I'm like, holy shit, Seth can really wrestle. I've not seen that because he's been bogged down by the Shield.
I just don't get it. It's so baffling to me how me as a person who did not know anything about these guys at all, but like while they were like coming up, like doing all their indie stuff, or like back before WWE was like tainted, and it's like, okay, if a new person can see that, why can't the people running the show? But like, I don't know. I'm hoping things are changing because you know what? I've been saying I was wrong a lot this episode, and I was glad to be wrong about the stupid box at the chamber. It was Danhausen. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that legitimately like great?
Hold on. People booing him do not deserve Danhausen.
No, because like, do we love you know Orange Cassidy for his wrestling? I mean, yes, yes. Granted, I do absolutely. But at the same time, it's like, no, I watch an Orange Cassidy match for him to do the hands in his pockets and the slow kicks, and then when the opponent lets his guard down. Also, Danhausen is a great wrestler. Y'all just don't know ball.
Also, like the follow up, my favorite is when this of everything now is just fantastic. Like,
I can't wait. I legitimately cannot wait for the level of interactions that he's gonna have. Like if he's gonna bring up the AEW time where he gave Punk a shirt.
yeah,
Like there's just I'm excited. Danhausen's gonna be a real if done well, because I had such a mixed reaction when he came out because I was happy because one, it wasn't Jericho. Um and two, there was still a possibility of Finley, Takashi, and Evil going to AEW, which I was right with one of those. Um, and I was glad it was like something new and I wasn't expecting. Like if done right, Danhausen could genuinely be a breath of fresh air for, I guess, if he's on Raw for Mondays. Like,
I would also, people were upset about it not being Jericho. I would argue that Danhausen is actually a better choice, especially
yeah,
for the reveal, for the comedy act. It's fresh. It's not just like I think my favorite thing that Jericho's done in the last few years, I think I've said this before, was his list gimmick.
yeah,
Everything else has just been kind of there.
yeah. The learning tree bummy sucked. I hate it. It granted it gave me the opportunity to see Big Bill and Brian Keith because I didn't know who those guys were before, and I love them, especially Brian Keith. If you know anything about me, Texas wrestlers, they're always just better than you and all of your favorites.
Temper your expectations on Big Bill.
He is a good wrestler. Like I could take him or leave him, but I'm more of a Brian Keith fan.
I'm pretty sure the reason, speculation, yada yada, but the main thing that I heard before his release from WWE is that backstage he was a really obnoxious Trump supporter.
That
And
sucks.
I, before that, I loved Enzo Amore and Big Cass. the intro, it reminded me of the New Age Outlaws because they're from Queens. They're doing the whole Enzo's doing the whole intro.
Yeah, and you can't take
Teach
that.
that, yeah. How you doing? It was so funny.
Yeah,
And
I've seen the clips, and I really liked the Miz and Enzo promo. That was real. I was like, damn, all right, Miz can hang on the mic. But that was me still learning that like Miz is the underrated goat.
when they did nothing, Enzo kept getting put places because he kept ruffling feathers. They didn't know what to
Yeah,
do with him. So they put him in the cruiserweight division. He actually thrived a bit in the cruiserweight division because before that, his entire move set was basically being thrown by Big Cass. And there
yeah.
was
Well,
one thing where he was the champion and the entire 205 Live roster came out and he cooked all of them. The funniest bit, I
I've
think
seen that. Yeah.
he went up to Cedric Alexander and said, "What kind of shirt you wearing? A schmedium?" I was like, I don't know why that popped me, but it was like I lost it.
Anytime, because I've heard the term why you got that medium shirt on. I don't know where the first time I've heard it, but it is always top 5 funniest things that you could say to somebody. It just is. How can I forget? AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not particularly care for that match. I kind of wish that it was Becky versus Natty.
Yeah.
If we were doing no offense. I know I said that older wrestlers in general, I don't care, but if we're gonna have an older wrestler fight, then why not give Natty a title shot? She pinned the former champion. Actually, she didn't pin her, she knocked her out cold. So
Yeah.
I don't know. If that's not grounds for a title shot, I don't know what is. But AJ Lee, I do love. She's the original women's wrestler in a lot of people's eyes. So her winning the IC title, the workhorse title, in her hometown, 10 or 10, 15 years removed from, wrestling. Beautiful moment. Sometimes wrestling has a happy ending. Speaking of happy endings in wrestling, Andrade and Tomohiro Ishii's main event on Collision Saturday. Why was that better than most of the matches on the Chamber? That had no business being the way that was. Tomohiro Ishii has 2 bad knees, a bad back, no neck, and can't turn his head more than 13 degrees either way. There's no way that we got so lucky with Andrade first, coming back to Wrestle in America when he came to NXT. We didn't deserve him then. We made him NXT champion. We put him on the main roster. Squandered it. He had that best of 7 match against Carmelo Hayes, which really put Melo on the map. And after that, Andrade was in the Money in the Bank, which unfortunately we all knew he wasn't winning because Drew McIntyre was there.
Yeah.
And then, they bring his ex-wife back, or his ex-wife, because they got divorced. They shove him in catering. He no-shows a bunch of events. Everyone thinks he's just a bad guy. And then he shows up in AEW. They slap him with that NDA. Big homie Roosh helps them get out of it. And now he's been putting banger after banger after banger after banger. And I say all this because I didn't record with Dave last week because I wanted to make sure I watched Andrade El Idolo versus Yota Tsuji for the global whatever it's called, the not Intercontinental Championship. Was it a great match? Absolutely. Did I almost tear up? Yeah, because I was like, damn, Andrade in New Japan again? I get to watch this live? Well, not live because I wasn't staying up at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I get to see this. Yota Tsuji comes out with the big hat and the tassels on the leg. still like giving that LFI vibe. Loved it. He tapped out to a Boston Crab. He tapped out to a Boston Crab. In the big year of 2026, we got niggas tapping out to Boston Crabs. Why? I get it. We want to build Suji up as the double champ and have that first loss really mean something. I get that. And we're building up New Japan, like stars and not foreign talent. That's awesome. But in that same breath, you had Takeshita take the belt off Phantasmo. Granted. Ooh, you have to watch this match, Dave. It's free on YouTube, and all of the viewers who haven't seen it, please watch it. Anytime a wrestler or both of them or just the fans, if there's a 5 more minutes chant and they do it, oh my god. As you know, the Blue Thunder Bomb is one of my favorite moves in professional wrestling. Takeshita counters Phantasmo into a Blue Thunder Bomb in such a way that when he hit the ground, I legitimately bounced off my couch like I was a cartoon character or a me in the Wii bowling game. Oh my god, this is why I love professional wrestling. And then another standout from that, Bolin Oleg beating Tomohiro Ishii. See how it's all coming together. That's why I had to talk about that main event. They stood in the middle of that ring and chopped each other for 3 minutes straight. I was sitting there watching that match, just gobsmacked. I said, "Oh, this is why they always call on Ishii and AEW to make sure that they know that the Stone Pitbull ain't hear no bell." Like in the sense of like his career. Like, man, God, just this G1 Classics and the New Japan Cup are gonna be stupid. I'm scared. I'm scared because what's it called? The Knockout Brothers. I was gonna just say the names. Yuto Ice and Oscar. Let him break the record. Let him break the record. If Gato can let his homeboy Suji be a double champ, I think that we can let the Knockout Brothers break the tag record. Let's run it up, like legitimately. Oh, also Ricochet defended his title against Taiji Ichimori. It's a Ricochet match. What do you expect? It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I don't know why WWE wasted Ricochet's time into the point where he was saying that he lost his love for wrestling. It's just a stark contrast because when I was watching Ricochet, I was like, "Oh, this is a cool guy. Well, when are they going to give him the belt?" And then, not too long after that, they put him through a car. So, but he showed up in Wembley, so that was fucking awesome.
They essentially killed him in WWE so he could show up in AEW.
Yeah, I legitimately thought that Prince Puma was going to show up on SmackDown.
That would have been funny, but I'm really glad he's not on WWE.
Yeah, because now I have the demand and GOA by extension because Bishop Khan and Toa Liona, give them the tag belts, please. It could just be for a week. Who cares? They can feud with like the Gun Club.
I mean, especially with the dogs now, there are a lot of trios. There's a lot of trios now.
Now, remember what I was saying earlier about his feud with Jay White in New Japan? So like I said, I was doing some last minute research, and by that I mean I saw an Instagram post that I had to like scour through the comments to understand what it meant. Because the comment description was just like somebody being extremely thirsty. So I was like, oh, apparently Jay White and David Finlay were like they came up together in New Japan. Like they were young lions in the same dojo group.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, Jay White left New Japan to become a AEW exclusive wrestler. He was the leader of the Bullet Club. Who do you think had to take his spot and shillelagh him across the dome?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One rebel, David Finlay. So I don't put it past. Maybe they were waiting for Jay to come back until Finlay signs was official. So we have the War Dogs and the Bang Bang Gang duking it out for the trios titles, tag titles. Maybe we can get Jay White finally strapped in singles gold in AEW. Like, I don't know, man. We could have Kenny Omega, Jay White, David Finlay in a triple threat former Bullet Club leader match. Like, you know how AEW loves to do bullshit stipulations, who is the best Bullet Club leader? Whoever wins this match is the de facto greatest leader of the Bullet Club. That's also in my timeline where AJ does his little run in AEW to the world title. That way we could have not only AJ fight Ospreay in Wembley at All In for the world title, we could also just have it stated for all the people at home that AJ is the best Bullet Club leader. Sorry, Finn. I know I was singing your praises earlier, but hey, man, that's the phenomenal one. Gotta put some respect on his name. He built the house, apparently.
Well, also speaking of world title, Kevin Knight versus MJF. I cannot remember, but I do not believe I have ever seen anyone counter a clothesline by jumping over it. He not only jumped, he dove over it. He actually jumped, gained air, and then dove right over MJF's arm.
I remember I was singing his praises when he joined because I was like, oh, yay, more black wrestlers in AEW. And then his first match in the company, or first or second, was a dynasty match against Will Ospreay. Prime 2024 Will Ospreay. And they tore the house down. And they even had a beautiful exchange, which basically looked like, hey, I'm the best in the world now, but if you keep like this, you're going to be the best in the world in a couple of years. And ever since then, well, I won't say that because he kind of teetered here and there. If I'm going to be honest, when it comes to overness and popularity and him being on my TV screen as much. But the second they paired him with Speedball Mike Bailey, Jet Speed, crack into my veins. And it seems like everybody's veins. Because, one, you can't hate Speedball. You just can't. It's physically impossible for me to say a bad thing about Speedball Mike Bailey. I know you're gonna say something about his shoes.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm done harping on that.
But Speedball Mike Bailey, one of the greatest strikers in professional wrestling. Also, one of the greatest people on the planet. Just cool person, hands down. So him and Kevin Knight together, did not expect that chemistry. Did not. I didn't. I straight up didn't.
Though Speedball was wearing sneakers one time last night and never again.
Yes, he did wear shoes on Wednesday.
Just to run in, though. Then during the match, he was in his regular gear.
But I had to let him know.
Kevin Knight, though, I don't know if I want to say shocked. I was pleasantly surprised watching Collision and watching him cut a promo on MJF that was really good. It was a really good back and forth. He kept up with MJF, and then they got a match last night as a result.
Yeah, I did not expect them to essentially give him the ball as freely as they are right now. I'm not mad. I love it. Every time I see a Kevin Knight match, on the card on their Instagram or as a standby match on Dynamite or Collision, like, yes, oh my god, Kevin Knight match. This is gonna be great. Like, it's the same way I feel whenever Carmelo has his open challenge. I'm like, shit, yeah, like good wrestling, like some just all around great graps. So I'm glad. Like, even though, well, we can talk about that when we talk about Dynamite, but I'm glad with the trajectory that Kevin Knight is going right now. He is just that guy. And yeah, I hope that he's not done with the main event scene. I hope they're not done with him being in the main event scene. Shit. Hope that just wasn't a Black History Month treat.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be more of it. It's especially like now that they've lost the trios titles, like there's a few directions it could go.
Yep.
It could be Hangman turning heel and him being heel with Swerve at the same time.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Hangman could be like, fed up with the both of them for losing especially Kevin Knight, because Kevin Knight's the one that took the pin, even though he was injured. But a very heel thing to do would be blame the person and crash out.
He could also blame them for just being so easy and like freewheeling with handing out title defenses and like matches here and there. So it's like I can see it going down that route. Honestly, might sound crazy. Go ahead and give me Kevin Knight versus Okada for the international title. You know you want to. I don't care. They're already feuding with the Don Callis family. Speedball has a match with Kyle Fletcher next Wednesday for the TNT title. So it's like, fuck it, dude. If they're gonna talk that shit, let them talk it, and let them follow through with it too. I don't want to see any like half baked promises. If we're giving Mike a title shot, hey, give Kevin one too, please, because that Dynamite, there was no reason for us to get all that. A double main event.
Ooh, the title shot with Mike Bailey. That could also have shenanigans in it. It's like, oh, I came out to help you. I don't want help. Well, you should, so many different things.
I expect shenanigans to ensue. But actually, I don't know. Because with Kyle's TNT title defenses, he usually does that shit by himself.
Yeah, and I mean, because it's a TV title and because they've established that, Ciampa had 11 days, they're making it so it's unpredictable. So it's like, all right, well, it's not a guarantee that Fletcher retains, despite having a pink belt now, despite, he's been champion before. Ciampa only had it for 11 days, so it could be the same thing with Fletcher. And then the chase for the TNT title will continue, and it could turn into something really good.
I do love this. I am hoping for maybe at All In, because that's the next one, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Maybe we get a ladder match for the TNT title, like a multi-man ladder match. I would not be upset about that. Because like, what do you have? You have Tommaso Ciampa, Speedball Mike Bailey, Kyle Fletcher. Who else is like rummaging for this thing?
Mark Briscoe.
And then they'll probably throw in somebody else just for shits and gigs. Just be like, and him. And so like, there's a lot of things where the TNT title could go. That's honestly the most like, other than the main event scene right now in wrestling, might be the most like jockeying division that there is right now. And it feels very lively.
Johnny Gargano.
Now listen. I'm sure it's just going to be Tommaso versus Bald FTR, and if Cash gets involved, then Mark Briscoe's going to come out because it's happening on Collision, and Mark Briscoe's always rummaging around Collision doing something. Like, not that's a bad thing. I love seeing him, but if something goes down on Collision, Mark Briscoe will be there. Especially in a place like Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, and as much as I want to see Johnny Gargano in AEW, there's no way that him leaving WWE would be kept quiet by anyone.
Oh, well, who knows? Because they said Finley was going to WWE, and we didn't know anything about Danhausen. We didn't know shit. So like, I, who knows? At this point, I don't know what to think. Wrestling has become so confusing, and things are starting to like become interesting again. I don't even want to make like a assertion about where Johnny could be, because just today he was posting another planking thing. So I'm like, ugh. Yeah, he wasn't on SmackDown last week that I know of, that I saw. So yes, he was. Yes, he was, because Candice LeRae had a match against.
He cost Candice that week, right? That was
Yes, that was because he got up and walked away, and that cost Candice LeRae the match for the U.S. title. That's how bad SmackDown has been recently. I just keep forgetting what's happening. If it's not like Trick, Mello, or if it's not Trick and Mello, it's kind of boring. Or Ray Phoenix, because Ray Phoenix is he's always fun, but he's never on TV anymore. Just, I guess you know who else isn't on TV that I haven't seen? Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. Los Garzas. Fraxium.
Oh, there's a ton. There's a ton of talent that's probably just in catering right now.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm wrong. The last time I saw those 3 tag teams was when, along with Ray Phoenix, was when they were looking at the box on SmackDown that contained Danhausen that we now know, and R-Truth came out and said, "Guys, how are y'all gonna watch the Elimination Chamber?" What he meant to say was, "I know y'all niggas ain't finna be on this pay-per-view, so let me tell y'all in this sponsored ad how you could sign up for the ESPN app, and if not, I can show you how to watch it through your local cable provider." Why are we doing this to R-Truth? Why are we doing this to one of the greatest tag teams of all time? Why are we doing this to potentially the future greatest tag team of all time? Because Nathan Frazier and Axiom, every time that bell goes off, it's like you put crack into Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio and then aids them down. No more 10 surgeries on either knees, because I was about to make a Rey Mysterio joke, but then I remembered that's Seth Rollins. His knees are made out of marshmallow paste and dreams. So it is very frustrating. But now that Road Dogg's gone, SmackDown is free.
The hand motions.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? I do want to give the Fed its credit, because I know you didn't watch it, which I don't blame you. Why would you? Why would you waste your Mondays and Fridays on a product that you know is going to be bad week to week? Hey man, I gotta tell you, and all the fans at home, Monday Night Raw was exciting for once. Oh my god.
I was hearing your commentary, and I saw some of it.
Yeah, like the show starts because I was ready to be pissed off. I was so ready. Because I was already drunk. I'm not gonna hold you. I had a Four Loko prepared to be like, wrestling's gonna suck tonight. My roommate came home and was like, it's the bad wrestling, huh? That's not a good sign. It starts with the Vision, coming out. And I'm like, oh Lord. And it's not even any of the members of the Vision I like. You know what I mean?
It's only part of the Vision, so they're not 2020.
Right. They got glasses and cataracts. And then it's already getting worse. Masked men. That's something that has been plaguing wrestling for God knows how long. Masked men. I counted five masked men. The sixth one was Seth Rollins. Can't lie, got a little happy. Love seeing Seth Rollins.
When you were narrating that, I was like, "Are you serious? Or are you kidding?" Because what? There's 6 of them.
Yeah, no. The way I was describing it, even if you were watching it with me, it would sound like I was making it up. Because one came out and distracted Paul Heyman. One came out to distract the refs and the security. And then the other two got Theory and Paul. And then another one comes up down the ramp and is like, distracting Paul Heyman. He's just like, oh no, please, please. And I shit you not, I said, oh my God, Seth has the Shield chair. Because I was hoping and honestly thinking that Michael Cole was going to say it, because anytime that they could, milk that Shield cow, they're going to do it. The Shield corner, as Dave used to tell me about. Or the Shield barricade, I mean.
Yeah.
Yes. They still call it the Shield power bomb. But I was like, okay, Seth is here. He hit Heyman with a chair. And then he hit Heyman with a stomp. I was like, oh, wow. Even Dave was like, damn, his old ass took that? It's like, yeah. Busted him open, too. And then we get powdering. And then Logan Paul goes away because that's always good. And Austin Theory goes to his car. The door opens and it's fucking Jimmy Uso, who just beats him up, throws him into some crates. I don't know what those things are. They're just always there.
Those rolling things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rolling things and the hollow pipes are always
the tarp and drape. Yes, sir. Yeah. And after disposing of Austin Theory, he goes to the driver. And it's LA Knight. And then LA Knight is whipping the ambulance with Heyman in it. And God, I don't know if you saw, but LA Knight released a picture of him or a video of him just violently driving the car, listening to real happy music. And I'm like, oh man, it's so great. And immediately after that, we get into Gunther versus Dragon Lee, which I was like, Gunther, time for my smoke break. And then I didn't even have time to blink. Dragon Lee shot out of wherever the fuck he came from, because I've watched that clip 1,000 times. I don't know where he came from. He might have just spawned in. And then they had a banger from bell to bell. They were beating the shit out of each other. I hated the finish because, as you know, and I'm sure you share this sentiment, I hate when wrestlers rip off Luchador's mask. Granted, when he did it, he covered his face, which I was like, okay, cool. And the ref, made sure to cover it. But quick tangent. This podcast is going to set a strict line between us and other platforms out there. Sean Ross Sapp, you're sick. I already said what I needed to on my TikTok video. That was disgusting. How dare you?
I will say I usually agree with Sean Ross Sapp's takes, especially because he's associated with Denise Salcido. She's awesome. They're both decent journalists, and from what I thought until today, integrity. This I even hunted down the tweet just to see for myself, and then I watched him double down on it. It's like, buddy, you made a huge mistake. I don't care if other outlets, or WWE themselves aired it, on all their platforms. It was the clip. You're the one that paused it, took the screenshot, and posted it on social media. That's the line. It's one thing to happen on broadcasting when you can't really do much about it except cut away. But when you go looking for the clip and then post it on social media of your own volition, you fuck that up.
You look like a creep. You look like someone who doesn't respect luchadors. Looks like you're someone who doesn't respect Mexican culture. It just looks like someone who thinks of Mexican wrestlers as just a gimmick. And as someone who literally has on an Eddie Guerrero shirt, I I can't stand by that whatsoever. I simply cannot. But speaking of things that I can't stand by, going after that really great match with Dragon Lee and Gunther, which I hope extends until WrestleMania, and Gunther can get dethroned by Dragon Lee, because if they keep wanting to tell me he's the future of Lucha Libre, then maybe give him a good high profile match.
Are they going to retire Dragon Lee? Is that what that's leading up to?
Oh my God, hush! That would be awful. That would be God. They might, and then Dragon goes to AEW. But there was a Liv Morgan vignette promo against Stephanie Vaquer, and it got really weird. Like, she started talking about how like Stephanie had to like work in grass huts and flea infested whatevers. I'm like, whoa, hey, Liv, this is weird. I remember talking about last week. I was like, this could be a good, or I don't know if I actually said this on the podcast or not, but I remember saying that this could be a very good storyline between like indie darling versus WWE superstar, and like, but you had to get weird and racist with it. I didn't like that.
It's very possible that somebody like, say, Road Dogg gave her that promo and said, "Here, say this."
Because that just doesn't sound like something Liv Morgan would say.
No.
Like, kayfabe or not. It's because, like, your kayfabe boyfriend is Dominic Mysterio. And your kayfabe sister is Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Okay, yeah. So, but other than that, like, Raw was a bright spot for once. It was odd. I'm really looking forward to SmackDown tomorrow if it's like, we're just getting rid of Road Dogg, but I'm excited to see what's gonna give, especially after Randy winning the Chamber. Gonna see how Cody's probably not gonna turn heel. But probably the big highlight of the night that everyone is talking about now is the Zebros and their promo.
I'm sorry. I just pictured either Randy or Cody opening the show. The other one comes out to talk to them like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. I know you did what you had to do," and then cue Drew McIntyre's music.
Yeah. Cody, you're really gonna let dude talk to you like that after he took it out with no hesitation? Yeah. And then Cody's just gonna be like, oh my God. And I know I can hear it. I can hear it in my brain. Enough! You sorry, suffering, crybaby, Scottish sack of shit. All you do is bitch and moan. And it's like, all right. I get it. Bring it down, Cody. Bring it down.
You know what would be if during all that fucking Randy RKO's Cody?
And it's like, hey man, I'm with. You know what? Yeah, actually, let Cody take him for the team, because what I kind of want to happen at Mania, Sammy fucks over Drew, and Randy wins 15, and that's it. That's all I had to say. That was it. I want Randy to win 15 so we can shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
And I can move on. And we can move on as a people so we can start building up new stars, because there should be no reason that Trick, Mello, Oba, and Javon all don't have spots at WrestleMania. I don't mean fucking backstage segments or ads or fucking shucking and jiving with R-Truth. Hopefully that shit's done. Hopefully no more truth shucking and jiving on Raw or SmackDown. But they deserve to have matches and probably get put over at Mania. So, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised with Raw, because I did not expect Roman and Punk to go as crazy as they did.
And I'm going to bury you next to your father.
Yeah, because that wasn't even like that was the last line of Raw. Roman said to Punk first, before he tried to walk away, I'm going to beat you at Mania and send you on one of them John Cena retirement tours. And tried to walk away like that's not the best in the world that you're in the ring with. And so Punk grabbed him and said, "Oh, I'm not one of these fucking losers that you can try and, catchphrase your way out of. So you don't have to cut a promo. Now I'm not going to beat you at WrestleMania anymore. I'm going to bury you. And so you won't be lonely anymore because I'm so glad that Roman's been clocked on that island of irrelevancy shit or island of relevancy. Because, hey, big dog, your cousins, Wise Man, the White Boy, and 36 other Samoan cousins that you got coming out the woodworks to help you defend the title don't really mean shit when it's one-on-one. He didn't say all that. But that's like what I got from it. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I forgot. I had something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited because a lot of people were talking shit about Punk for a while, like on the internet. And I know he's like claims he doesn't like see that or care, but it's like, man, all y'all were talking all this hot shit about like, oh man, when CM Punk comes back, you guys aren't ready. And I saw it during the Drew feud. That was heat. But now, well, until Monday, I was like, but now I feel it again. This actual build towards WrestleMania. Like it means something.
Punk was correct when he said, I got to carry your ass for 7 weeks because you're not going to be here.
It's not going to be here. It was to the point where I thought Roman was retiring because they had posted his dates on Instagram. And I was like, huh? Like, you should be on the show every day or every week. The champion is. And you want to fucking tweet from your home and don't want to show up to Chicago. Yeah, no wonder Punk was talking shit. And now, since we've gotten through most of what I think I wanted to talk about, did you have any other topics you wanted to get through today? Because before we move on to our highlights of the week.
I do not.
Okay. Well, for me, my highlight of the week was unfortunately, because I feel like it has to get its praise, was this Monday Night Raw. There was just a lot of great matches. The one I didn't talk about because I'm still recovering. Dom versus Penta. I enjoyed Dominic being a double champion. I really did. It was super cool to see him come out and stack the belts on top of each other. He's also like one of my favorite wrestlers right now, so I want him to have all the gold. But he was mean to Danhausen. He got cursed. Bad things happen when you're mean to Danhausen. It's the same thing with like Butters on South Park. You have to meet his Danhausens or you will be cursed.
Yeah, I think it'd be like an honorable mention, but my honorable mention would be Danhausen and its list of Demandhausens because that was just such a funny segment. But highlight of the week overall, Kevin Knight. Just Kevin Knight, the promo he cut on Collision, the matches he's had lately, the moves, like he does this like a diving clothesline where it looks almost like he's about to do a frog splash, but he just takes their head off instead. Yeah, that he can move.
I had always had faith in Kevin Knight, but that title match that he had against Max really just solidifies like, oh nah, he can hang with the big dogs. His match with Swerve, phenomenal, but I was already gobsmacked at the fact that like two of my favorite black wrestlers were having a fucking one-on-one for the first time ever. I was like, hell yeah. So I didn't really, and plus I was still on the nostalgia kick that like, hey, Swerve is back. So I wasn't really thinking about Kevin at that point in time. But now, because with Maxes, I already know like they're gonna be a banger. But the psychology in this match, like the whole story it told from the first like UFO splash like attempt, Max was working those ribs in the midsection the entire time, and Oh my God. Like, Kevin Knight's definitely going to be a main eventer in the future of AEW and just a household name by the end of the fucking decade. I guarantee it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Is there anything you want to plug, Cass? Tell people where we can find you.
Yes. Here, every Thursday, 7 o'clock, a wrestling podcast. Insert subtitle here. Also, you know, you can find me on TikTok at Mr. Must See TV and on Instagram at _pump_. I will also be at Monday Night Raw at San Antonio, Texas, March 16th. So if you want to see your favorite indie darling and now your new favorite podcast host, I'll be there.
And I am Xanatos1138 on all socials. I kind of post whenever now. Don't really have a schedule, but I post about all things nerdy pretty much. And I will probably keep saying it because it's going to be in a few months, but I will be pretty close in the arena. I will be at Double or Nothing.
That's right. That's right.
I got pretty good seats. I'm really excited to go to that. It's going to be not my first AEW event, but my first AEW pay-per-view.
Ooh, hopefully we'll be able to like get the if you take pictures, we'll be able to get to see where you were sitting from on the episode where I guess the episode after you go.
Yeah, it's a tennis court usually, so the seating might be a little weird.
Oh, that's gonna be fun though, because like just the way from what you showed me, the way the arena is set up, it just kind of gives that like stadium feel, like even on a smaller scale.
Yeah, that should be good stuff. All right, well, we will see you next week.
All right, and everyone remember, for all your wrestling content needs all over the world, come to Dave and goddamn Magnus, and we will see you the next time, and the next time, and the next time.
It's a sandbox.
How did that time perfect?
It's banned.